Tech for Senior, November the 1st. Welcome, everybody. It is episode 84. Can you believe that, Hewie? 84. It is amazing, eh?
Wow.
It is. It is. We've got some, Bob, we've got some noise in the background.
Yeah, I'm looking now to see who it is.
There we go. Great, thanks. Anyway, welcome everyone to a great show today. As I said, we've got lots happening. It's going to be a busy one, and thank you for coming. It is, as I mentioned earlier, this is we do this because we love technology and we thrive on your enthusiasm. So the fact that there are just under 80 people here today is great. As you know, this is being broadcast over on YouTube, so we have two different shows running at the same time. This show will be going for about an hour, and then we'll have a Q&A period for about 20 minutes, and then at half past the hour, we'll be doing our premiere service, which I'll talk about in a minute. Over on YouTube, we'll do it for about 50 minutes, and just before Ray's music segment, then we'll be stopping the YouTube feed, and you can come over here to the and to our Zoom meeting if you want, and we will be and participate in the Q&A. We also have another show that we run on Thursdays. It's called Tech for Senior Live. And this Thursday, we will not be doing it. This is the first Thursday we haven't do it, but we have a scheduling problem, and it just is not possible to do Tech for Senior Live this Thursday. So we will be we'll be doing it the following week, and the Monday show, of course, will stay the same. But it's just this Thursday we will not be doing Tech for Senior Live, and that will be out in our Tuesday newsletter. And thank you so much to Jim Glass for reminding everybody that we do have a newsletter. It does come out twice a week. It comes out on Tuesdays and Saturdays, and we have a lot of great contributors, including Bill James. And Bill James has he's going to give us probably a great tip on gadgets for this Tuesday. So be sure and watch for his article coming out this Tuesday, as well as Bob's security talks. So that is going to happen. Let me introduce, before we get to going, I want to thank Ivana this week for her very generous donation to our coffee fund. It keeps the wheels moving. That's great. Thank you, Ivana, very much. And let me introduce everyone today. Hewie, where the heck? Oh, you're down there. How come I'm up top? You're down there. I guess that's...
It's not on mine, so...
Oh, it's not on yours. All right.
I'm at the top. So.
Hey, we had a busy week last week.
Oh, we have a busy week every week, Ryan, if you haven't noticed.
Yeah, we sort of do an awful lot, but we had learning Chromebooks last week, eh?
Right, and it's been posted on the website. The video has, yeah. And I sent out a note to everybody who's registered where to find it. But if not, they can just go to the Tech for Senior YouTube channel, and it will be there. Mm-hmm. And they can watch all the old ones as well if they look at the playlist.
We've got 13 episodes up now, eh?
14.
Was it 14?
Yeah. You called it the 14th in the description. You did a copy paste and said it was the 13th. You need to change that. I forgot.
You didn't tell me about that. Oh, rats. Okay. Thank you.
It is a 14th. We've been doing that over a year, and we've been doing this almost a year, more than a year and a half now.
Yeah. 84 episodes. Well, that's good. Yes. So yes, indeed. So it was a busy week. Bob, this is, thank heavens we're past October. That's darn security month. You were just busier than a one-armed paper hanger, right?
Yeah, but I'm going to be quite busy this month too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Sarasota's got them this Wednesday night.
Really? Huh.
But I won't be on security. It'll be on one of the products, CCleaner, yep. And the things that you can do with CCleaner that most people don't even realize.
Well, there you
There's
go.
more than just garbage. Yep.
We're looking forward to that one.
Very good. And Ray, is it snowing up in the mountains there?
No, 52 degrees outside and beautiful weather. For me, this is the best time of the year up here.
Oh, really?
It gets down near freezing, but it doesn't really go into freezing, and the days are in the 70s. So I love it.
Very good. Very good. And Bill James, how are you doing?
Doing
In
great.
Oklahoma. What's the weather in Oklahoma? Is it cold there?
Currently we are 48 degrees.
48 degrees.
So it probably, I don't know what the high will be today, but it looks like it's going to rain mostly. So we'll just have to wait and see.
And Dewey, you're soon to be heading to Mesa, Arizona, to a famous resort that I hear is called Silver Ridge Resort, eh?
4 weeks from tomorrow, we fly in. I'm busy trying to book a rental car for 4 or 5 days till my regular car and possessions get there. I should say our possessions.
There you go. Yeah, I think that's yeah. So it says you're going to have a fun year and see what happens, and you'll certainly.
It's going to be quite a year.
It's going to be a lot of changes, eh? Yes.
Did you notice the difference in the price of rental cars?
Oh.
Wow, I got some. Yes, I made a couple of calls this morning.
Yeah, and Dewey's segment today is on trucks. He's trying to get me to buy a new truck. I think. Are you trying to get me to buy a new truck? I think that's coming up in your segment.
I can try hard, but remember, you got to get it by your wife, Gail.
Yeah, she's not too keen on trucks right now. All right, so good. Well, that's everybody. Everyone? That's great. I want to just share my screen and show you a couple of things today. Let me just, before we get going on the show, let me just come up here and we're going to do this. And I wanted to show you, let me see, share this. Can you see that, Hewie? Is that my computer stand?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so this is my new TCL 65-inch TV. And the reason I'm showing it to you today is because it's on a stand. And the stand, as you see on the bottom here, moves around. So we actually can move this around the room here. And the reason I'm telling you this is, well, not only is I'm really pleased with the TV, but most of you either put it on a coffee table or something you mounted on wall mounts. But this is actually a stand. It's got wheels on the bottom and you can move it around. And since most of these newer TV systems that are installed now are all wireless, there's no cables or anything that you have to plug in. So that
you do have to plug it into the wall, right?
Yeah, you gotta have power. But I wanted to just show you the concept of this. And this is a very famous guy was teaching a course, and this is about a year ago, and he's teaching a course. They're sitting, as you can see, in the center here, and you all know that's of course Dewey. Mm-hmm. And in our computer club, of course, we have two televisions mounted on mobile racks as well that you can move around. And so that's where I got the idea. I mean, when we installed this into our club, it's very easy to move these TVs around. And I thought this was a very good application for our home, because in that particular room, we don't always want that television there, and we're only using it for specific purposes, so we can move it around and get it out of the way. So I thought I would just share that with everyone to so that you're aware of that, and that it is an option when you're mounting your television, that you can sort of move it around and you can have it on a mobile unit like that. That's what I wanted to say about that. Bob, are you ready to roll?
There you go.
There you go.
Here is the Avast Security News Roundup for the week ending October 29th, 2021. 2022, it's predicted that employees will demand remote work. Forrester has released its annual prediction guide, in which it anticipates that 2022 will see an increased demand for employees to work remotely. So much so that 30% of the companies that don't support remote working will see their staff resignation rates rise to 2.5%. Among the many other predictions in the guide, Forrester says that 60% of cybersecurity incidents in 2022 will involve third parties. According to Avast security evangelist Louis Carones, This makes sense. Globalization in technology is a fact, he said. All companies are full of third parties. Every company in the world uses software developed by third parties, which explains all the supply chain attacks we have already seen, a trend that has been growing for the last few years. For more on Forrester's predictions, see ZDNet. Hackers used Pass the Cookie attack to take over YouTube accounts. Google Threat Analysis Group reported last week that cookie theft malware has been responsible for thousands of high-profile YouTube channel takeovers. The scam begins with a phishing email to the YouTube creator where the bad actors pose as a real company and pretend to want to collaborate. If the creator clicks the email attachment, they unknowingly download cookie theft malware to their system. The malware steals session cookies, which allows the bad actor to forego any login requirements and immediately be in the creator's account. Since May 2021, Google says it has blocked 1.6 million of these messages to targets. For more on the story, see the Google Tag Report. FBI issues PSA to warn of unemployment benefit scams. The Federal Bureau of Investigation Internet Crime Complaint Center issued a public service announcement stating that cybercriminals are using spoofed unemployment benefit websites to defraud people of their data. The fake websites promote victims to enter sensitive personal and financial information. Cyber actors use this information to redirect unemployment benefits, harvest user credentials, collect personally identifiable information, and infect victims' devices with malware. The PSA reads, one way users can recognize these scams, the IC3 advises, is by looking for spelling mistakes in the email address or domain name. Other possible outcomes from the scam include ransomware infections and identity theft. Can SQL injection fool speed traps? One tech-savvy driver came up with an inventive way to fool speed traps by taping a SQL injection code to the front of their car. The reason this tactic might work is because the image recognition software used in traffic cameras is completely digital, capturing all characters in the image. In this case, the SQL injection taped to the front of the car is a command to delete the record of the car's license plate. The photo of the car has been floating around the internet for 7 years, but it is unknown whether or not the ploy worked. For more on this story, see Hack-A-Day. Governments drive ransomware gang REvil offline. According to Reuters, after an international operation hacked into Russian ransomware gang REvil's servers, one of REvil's leaders posted, "The server was compromised and they're looking for me." He then disappeared from the internet and REvil went offline. REvil was responsible for the Colonial Pipeline attack earlier this year, which caused fuel shortages up and down the East Coast. The FBI, in conjunction with Cyber Command, the Secret Service, and like-minded countries, have truly engaged in significant disruptive actions against these groups, said VMware head of cybersecurity strategy Tom Kellerman. The gloves have come off. Facebook just revealed its new name, Meta. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg announced Thursday at his company's Connect event that its new name will be Meta. "We are a company that builds technology to connect," Zuckerberg said. "Together, we can finally put people at the center of our technology, and together we can unlock a massively bigger creator economy. To reflect who we are and what we hope to build," he added. He said the name Facebook doesn't fully encompass everything the company does now and is still closely linked to one product. But over time, I hope we are seen as a metaverse company. Facebook has been under intense scrutiny over the past several weeks after revelations based on damning international documents provided to the Wall Street Journal by whistleblower Francis Haugen. A change in the company policy might have been a better move than a name change. That's just my opinion. Google is giving minors more control over the images that appear in search. Google is trying to make it easier for minors to remove images of themselves from search results. We know that kids and teens have to navigate some unique challenges online, especially when a picture of them is unexpectedly available on the internet. The company said in a blog posted Wednesday, in short, minors or their guardians can fill out a form with image URLs, search result queries, and URLs of search results pages. Google Posts also noted that this doesn't mean the images will be removed from the internet. It only affects the searches. This comes at a time when tech companies are facing increased scrutiny over their effects on kids. This week's must-read on the Avast blog. With the news around COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy and social media picking up globally, we decided to examine whether there was a correlation between where people spend time online and their attitudes toward the vaccine. Follow the link below to discover what we found. And that wraps up this week's Avast Security News Roundup. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Bob. That's great. Meta, M-E-T-A. Does it
really matter?
I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. What the is a meta thing? I don't know. Anyway, all right. Okay, listen, let's find out about trucks. I got a feeling that we're going to have some interesting video here. Let's see what Dewey has to say.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dewey, and my Tech Talk topic for today is cars and pickups in 2022. Much ado about technology. It's a wonderful time for technology and technologists. That's techies like me and the millions of people who embrace technology and how it's changing our world. I'll focus today on the huge impact of technology on 2022 model cars and pickup trucks, and especially on the growing number of electric vehicle models. But first, Qualcomm is a mammoth American company that's been making the bulk of processors in mobile phones in the world today. While some say they may be losing their grip on the Android phone market, RCRWireless.com reports that they're now very busy building connected automotive intelligence with 5G. In a keynote speech last week, Qualcomm CEO Cristiano Amon focused on how the automotive world is getting not only faster and smarter, but also more connected using 5G wireless technology, which of course brings both speed and low latency to the mix. Amon drew attention to improvements in self-driving cars and automated driving, and changes like how regulators are increasingly requiring new and advanced technology to improve safety, fuel efficiency, and automation. It's hard to believe, but 2022 also marks the 25th anniversary of the Toyota Prius. One, I think, was America's first electric vehicle. And it's also the 132nd anniversary of the first ever battery-powered buggy in North America. Wonder if you knew that. Now, the Baker Motor Vehicle Company of Cleveland built hundreds, maybe thousands of EVs from 1899 to 2014. In fact, even Thomas Edison and the White House owned Baker EVs. Pictured is a 1909 Baker Suburban runabout electric vehicle. Since I'm on a historical jag, it would be remiss of me to not mention EVs in Europe. Around 1832, think of that, a fellow named Robert Anderson developed the first ever crude electric vehicle, but it wasn't until about the 1870s, 1880s that electric cars became practical. Picture here is an EV built by an English inventor in 1884. It looks pretty sophisticated for that time. Getting back to the future, CNET.com recently carried an excellent report on the all-new 2022 Ford Maverick, a pickup truck in blue oval stable. Although the Maverick is nearly 200 inches long, it's classed as a compact. It's roughly the size of a Toyota Highlander. A hybrid powertrain is standard, making it Ford's first pickup with gas-electric power, as well as the cheapest full hybrid by a country mile. Combined with its 94 kilowatt electric assist motor, its 2.5-liter gas engine promises 40 miles per gallon in the city. That's outstanding for a vehicle of that size. Recently, CarAndDriver.com detailed GMC's 2022 Sierra 1500 pickup truck lineup. Last year's 4.3 V6 has been replaced by a powerful 2.7 Turbo 4 engine. Other options are a 420 horsepower V8, as well as a Duramax 3.0 liter diesel. As for technical innovation, the 2022 Sierra pickup has a 12.3-inch digital instrument panel. Wow, think of that. And a 13.4-inch center touchscreen. That's getting to Tesla territory. The gauge cluster is highly configurable, and the updated infotainment system features Google Maps and Voice Assistant, Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto. A recent article in ReviewGeek.com told of GM's plan to take on Tesla with a new $30,000 electric crossover. Although not available until later in 2022, the new Chevy Equinox EV will compete directly with the Tesla Model 3, which sells for $10,000 to $14,000 US more. Whoops, dropped to zero. GM CEO Mary Barra spoke recently on the importance of technology at GM, saying GM's vision is one of a world with zero crashes, zero emissions, and zero congestion. We're ahead of much of the competition in electrification, software-enabled services, and autonomy, autonomous vehicles, obviously. 2 days ago, ReviewGeek.com reported Toyota's announcement of its first real EV, the Toyota BZ4X. Wow, that's a tongue twister. The BZ part refers to Toyota's new Beyond Zero sub-brand designation for EVs. This is really news. Whoops. It's Toyota's first all EV in years, and it's packed with technology. The BZ4X is similar in size to a Toyota RAV4, and its range is modestly increased by optional solar panels on the roof. It'll feature several drive modes, 2 large displays, and a DC fast charging system that'll charge batteries to 80% in 30 minutes. Outstanding. Time constraints preclude my covering more of the technology-laden 2022 models. However, I do want to tell you about a very exciting new pickup truck EV that most likely you've never even heard of, the Rivian R1T. I'll share some high points with you about the Rivian R1T in upcoming screens. But for your information, my sources include CarAndDriver.com, TheAtlantic.com, and ReviewGeek.com. Rivian is a 12-year-old American company located in Normal, Illinois. There's a story behind the naming of that town. Tell you about it sometime. It already has orders for more than 50,000 of its pickup truck EVs, but have just manufactured the first 56 units 5 weeks ago. Ford owns a large share of the company. Amazon owns 5% and has 100,000, get that, 100,000 Rivian package delivery electric vehicles on order. Rivian expects production to ramp up as soon and will feature a launch edition starting at $74,145. They'll later offer a more affordable Explore trim level and eventually plan to build a 7-passenger SUV called the R1S. The launch edition has an array of driver assistance features as well as infotainment and connectivity technologies. However, The LE doesn't yet include Apple AirPlay or Android Auto. We're going to have to get going on that. All Rivian EVs have an electric motor at each wheel, which allows what Rivian calls a tank turn. This feature allows the truck to literally spin on its axles. That would be a sight. Rivians will be sold directly to consumers at first, but plans to later set up a network of service centers and Tesla-like stores. GM's new Ultra Cruise, that's cruise control, promises hands-free driving for nearly every paved road. ReviewGeek.com reported recently. GM stated that it was temporarily abandoning, just temporarily, its Super Cruise self-driving feature for an improved next-generation version dubbed Ultra Cruise. The new system will use radar, camera, and LiDAR sensors to control acceleration, steering, and braking. Ultra Cruise will debut in 2023 on certain luxury models. I understand the Cadillac Lyriq EV will be one, and be capable of allowing level 2 hands-free driving on more than 2 million miles of paved roads in, quote, 95% of scenarios across the US and Canada, close quote. By the way, level 2 means that there must be a driver actively engaged behind the steering wheel. Doesn't have to be driving, but has to be actively engaged in what's going on. Last Monday, TheGuardian.com featured an article relating that Tesla broke $1 trillion US in valuation after Hertz placed an order for 100,000 Teslas to be delivered by late 2022. This announcement came on the heels of a record quarter for Tesla, in which its Model 3 became the best-selling car across Europe in September. It also added to Elon Musk's net worth, already over $252 billion. I guess that's pretty much, huh? Aside from this Hertz order being extraordinary news for we Americans and Canadians, TheGuardian.com went on to say that it represents another milestone in the European car industry as it prepares for the end of gasoline and diesel sales within 10 years in some markets, some European markets. Also included is a 2035 ban on all internal combustion engines in the UK, where Tesla's Model 3 is already the most popular electric vehicle. My thoughts on the subject: Americans and Canadians will be able to decide their future at the ballot box in upcoming elections. Well, that's my Tech Talk story for today, and I am sticking with it. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, and the good Lord willing, we'll see you next week.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Dewey. I had no idea they had batteries in the late 1800s. That's crazy. You know, they had batteries back then, and wow, that's a blast from the past. Didn't know that.
A little bit unbelievable. As a matter of fact, Thomas Edison helped later design a special battery for that Baker electric vehicle that I spoke about. Kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's really, wow. Thanks so much. That was great. I'll be sure and have Gail have a watch that video, right?
Good idea. Good idea.
All right, let's see what I've got for you today. Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. Saving your precious moments. 3 tips for success. Let's have a look. This week I discovered some very special memories that I forgot that I had, and I shared them with my family. Wow, what an experience. This week, while doing a reno in my office, I discovered some very precious videos. I'd forgot that these even existed and shared them with my family. So today, I'm going to give you 3 tips for those lost videos or pictures you want to share with your family or loved ones. Remember, if you like this video, please like it. And if you want to see more like this, please subscribe. Let's get on with the tips. All right, here's my office On the right hand side, you'll see my Chromebook on my desk. Next to it, you'll see a monitor with camera number 1 on top. This is my main camera that records. Next to it, to the left, you'll see camera number 2 on another screen. And if you look to the far left, you'll see yet a third screen, but this is on a separate computer. What you don't see is the green screen I used to create the signature feature I put in all my videos. That's how I look like I'm actually embedded in the video. The use of a green screen is complicated and time-consuming. After talking to some professional editors this past week, I decided to use some natural backgrounds, and I'm going to show you how that went today. So in this picture, you'll see a desk with some flowers on this. This is now the natural background for camera number 1. Prior to this, there was, of course, shelving, as you see on the right, that extended where the desk is now. The shelving, of course, had lots of stuff on for the last 20 years. I had to clean this all up and remove half the shelving. What I discovered was this unmarked plastic case that I almost threw out. What I found when I opened the case was videos going back to 1988. Oh my gosh, these are family pictures from my original Betamax camera. These were videos that I must have had professionally remastered or copied onto these DVDs, but I don't remember ever doing it. It was just under 30 years ago, and they sat on my shelf all that time. Within 10 minutes, I had created my first video and had it uploaded on YouTube. Let me show you what I did. So in 1992, I bought my first Sony camera. As you know, I'm interested in technology, so it was an exciting time. I brought it home, and we were actually at my mother's house at this time, and I'm showing my wife and children how to use this. Well, I appreciate this is just a family video. This is the very first video that I made for our family, and within 10 minutes it was on YouTube and distributed around to people who were interested in it. I'm going to show you a short clip of this. You may be interested to see what I looked like 30 years ago. Let's have a look. Okay.
Yes?
Yeah. Push it.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
To zoom or to go in.
Hi, Joey.
Okay. Knock it.
Oh, I see.
Can I come over?
And then how you shut it off? You just push the red button again?
No. Look at those feet
So that was an interesting video. I hope you saw my cameo appearance and what I looked like many years ago. And of course, Leslie Ann, who was doing the dancing, now has children that age herself. So they were very precious memories, and within 10 minutes I had that video up on YouTube. So tip number 1 is, of course, you should get the videos or get your precious moments displayed as soon as possible. Let's talk a little bit about YouTube. I spend my life doing video editing, so I'm fast at it. I have a lot of sophisticated software. I know how to edit and upload easily to YouTube. This is the most complex process for most people because they don't do this. And I think a huge stumbling block for success. While YouTube is widely used by many people, it does require a skill set to do this. And it may not be the best approach for most people because you all have special moments like this and you want to share them. So if you can do YouTube, fine. If you can't, let's look at the second way to do this. All right, what I'm going to do here is let's open Google Photos. And we're going to come over here to the right side and we're going to go to Upload. We're going to upload from the computer. And we're going to come and find the file that I had uploaded to YouTube. And this is the file called LA Exercise. We're going to click this and it's going to prepare to upload it to Google Photos. And now it's uploading to Google Photos. Let's see what happens. So here we see that the video has now been uploaded to Google Photos. The video is 2 minutes and 7 seconds. So if we come up, we can play this, and this is playing from Google Photos. Now from this, we can come up to this little button at the top here that says Share. We can click on this button, and we can either share this to specific people, or we can create a link that we can include in an email and send it out to people. So if I click this link, it will create a link, and I can copy this and embed that into any email I want to send out to my family, and they'll be able to play this as a video. The other thing that you can do is you can post this to Facebook or Twitter right from this menu. You can also share albums with other people. I'm not going to go into this today. I would encourage you to look at Geeks on Tour's website. Chris Gould has many videos on how to share videos and images with your friends. So that was Google Photos, used by most people but not everyone. Remember, there is the Apple or Macintosh group, which don't always use Google Photos. So let's look at a third option for sharing your precious memories, something you may not have thought about. All right, the third option, which is universally recognized and probably the easiest to do, is Facebook. Facebook is, of course, going to be called Meta. But I'm still going to call it Facebook because I can't remember that. So within Facebook, you have Facebook groups. And Facebook groups is a very powerful feature of Facebook that will allow you to create a group of people and post your videos. Let me just show you how it's done. Here you'll see my Facebook page, and we're going to come over here on the left-hand side. And as you come down, you'll see it says Groups. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on Groups, and we're going to create a new group. We can give it a name. We'll call it Brown Family. And then we're going to choose our privacy, and we're going to make this a private group. Now, the goal of this topic today is to share your special moments with your friends. We're not doing something secretive, but it's unlikely most people will want to look at family videos. So I think it's fair to have this as a private group, and we're going to put a password on this so that you need a password to have access to the group. And once you create the group, then it's very easy to upload your videos to that specific group. And that is a very easy way of sharing your loved moments with friends and family. What I'm going to tell you is you may have your opinion on Facebook, whether you like it or not, but most people have a Facebook account. So I think this is a good option for sharing your memories, and it's very simple to do. Saving your precious moments. Facebook. Pretty much used by everyone. Easy to use. You can upload your videos, create a group. They even have the Facebook portal, which is a tablet that allows easy sharing of your information. Google Photos. Easy, mostly used by everybody. And then there's YouTube, which is universally accepted, but more difficult to do. So those are the 3 tips I have for you today. Remember the like and subscribe. Until we meet again, Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. All right, there we go. Hewie, are you around?
I think I am. And I should be ready to go in just a second. I do want to preface this by saying that I am starting something a little bit new for me, and it's called weekly websites. And it may not be every week, but I'm still calling it weekly websites. So this is number 1. And before I could even do it, I had some explaining to do. So it's also got some other things built into it. So let's take a look.
Tech for Seniors present the website of the week with Hewie Poplock.
Before we look at this week's website, let's talk about graphics, specifically image formats. There are hundreds of image formats. We're going to be looking at the most used. That's JPEG or JPG, PNG, GIF or GIF, depending on how you want to pronounce it, SVG, and WebP. JPEG is a lossy compression specification that takes advantage of human perception. It can achieve compression ratios of 1 to 10 without any perceivable difference in quality. Beyond this, the compression artifacts become more prominent. Because JPEG compression works by averaging out colors of nearby pixels, JPEG images are best suited for photographs and paintings of natural scenes, where the variations in color and intensity are smooth. However, if an image contains text or lines where a sharp contrast between adjacent pixels is desired to highlight the proper shape, this lossy compression technique does not yield good results. PNG is a lossless image format using deflate compression. No data is lost during compression, and no compression artifacts are introduced in the image. For this reason, a PNG image would retain higher quality as an image than JPEG and would look a lot sharper. It would also occupy more space on the disk. This makes it unsuitable for storing or transferring high-resolution digital photographs, but a great choice for images with text, logos, and shapes with sharp edges. GIF is also a lossless image format that uses LZW compression algorithm. It was favored over PNG for simple graphics in websites in its early days because the support of PNG was still growing. Given that PNG is now supported across all major devices, and that PNG compression is about 5 to 25% better than GIF compression. GIF images are now mainly used only if the image contains animations. SVG, or Scalable Vector Graphics. Defined in a vector graphics format, SVG images can be scaled in size without loss of quality. SVG images and their behaviors are defined in XML text files, which means that they can be searched, indexed, and scripted and compressed. As XML files, SVG images can be created and edited with any text editor, as well as with drawing software. The most used web browsers render SVG files. If your club or organization has someone develop a logo for you, you want to make sure you get an SVG file to go along with other files like JPEGs or PNGs, because it will be easily scalable for anything that you want, whether it be a small icon or a very large picture or part of your stationery. WebP is superior to JPEG for lossy compression of photographs. It's superior to PNG for lossless compression. Disregarding all the recent buzz, WebP is actually quite old. It was first announced back in 2010 and has since been upgrading and improving until its current state. It's become a popular topic lately as it pulled ahead in the next-gen image format wars. As of this writing, it's supported on Chrome, Microsoft Edge, Firefox, Opera, and the most recent Safari. iOS 14 and above supports WebP. WebP has faster loading times, less media storage, and transparency and animation, but it's not supported by all browsers, and the quality is still reduced. So the summary of the major image formats, and this is a good chart that kind of compares them. And here is another chart comparing whether it's lossy or lossless. Notice GIF has a maximum of 256 colors. So let's get started with this week's website, Clean PNG, and it's at www.cleanpng.com. Today's website is Clean PNG. When you look at it, you're going to say, well, what does this website do? Well, it's a library of transparent PNG art at your fingertips, as they say, or for you to download. If you wish, you can also upload your own to share with other people. Just looking quickly, you can see some of the featured PNGs that are on the front page. And as we come down here, you'll see some topics that you can search on and then search more. So there's a whole bunch of topics. These will be added to and changed by season, but you can click on any of them. You can search the PNG for whatever you'd like. So let's try elder. Sometimes senior finds some things, elder is another, but let's go ahead and by searching for elder, we came across one picture here that I like. It's an elderly couple. I'll click on this, and this is what the picture looks like. See all these little squares in the background? That means it's transparent. That's going to show up as whatever's in the background of whatever you're putting it on top of. Now, that sounds confusing. Well, I pretty much showed you everything there is to know about Clean PNG. You can search on different topics. You can do all the searching that you want. When you're done, you can say, okay, I want to download. So you just click the download. And you can see that it downloaded. Now what I do is I go ahead and I right mouse click down here at the bottom. Now I'm in Chrome. I say show in folder. It will show me that file that I just did. And then I will also open up a folder. And in this case it was here. So I have this, and then all I do is right mouse click and drag it over, and I'm going to copy it here. However, since I've already done that, it'll just say, what do you want to do? And I'm going to say, go ahead and skip it. But that's how I know where the file is. So we're going to minimize this. We'll minimize this. So now it's all there is basically to the website. You just look around, find whatever PNGs that you want to use, and download them. Then when you're ready to go use them, you can create a graphic for your Facebook page, or a tweet for Twitter, for a website, a newsletter, whatever you want. You can do it very easily by utilizing some of these graphics. Now, let's do an example. I'm going to show you a bonus website. It's a photo editor called Pixlr, Pixlr.com. And I am using the E version, which is the photo editor. This is just as an example of using any editor to use one of these transparent PNGs. So what we're going to do is create a new picture. We're going to make it 1920 by 1080, and we're going to say go ahead and create. So we now have a blank picture. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up an image, and I am going to use this image, and there it is. Now I want to take that picture, so I'm going to go to a file and open image, and I'm going to find this couple and say open, and it opens it in a different drawing. And now, so what I have to do now is to go ahead and edit. I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to move back over to here, and I'm going to say paste it. Oh, now it's very big, obviously. So what we need to do is move it down a little bit. We're going to resize it And I got to keep it enough on the screen that I can keep doing this. So let's get it down. Now, why is the transparent nice? Well, with transparent, you can see all of that background instead of being white. It looks like it's a decal of the couple on the back of the computer. I can save that picture. If you don't want a picture, you can just do a background, open a new image. We'll do that again, create. We'll this time give it a color, make it blue. And now we can take any other image, copy it all. And what we're going to do here is we're going to paste, and we can come here. We can now make that larger if we want, move it over. We've got a nice picture with a blue background. And so it's now transparent and it looks very nice on this blue background. In essence, that's all I want to show you today. So you've learned 2 new sites. You've learned Clean PNG and Pixlr. I'm Hewie Poplock.
Thanks, Hewie. That's great. This is going to be, I look forward to next week. It's going to be great. Yes. Super. Thank you so much. Just before Ray gets ready for his music segment, I want just to, and also I'm going to be saying goodbye to our YouTube people. I just want to remind everyone about 1:30 when our premiere service will start. This week, Ray is going to be talking on Microsoft Sway. Remember your talk on that, Ray?
Yes, vaguely.
Vaguely.
I might watch it again to see if I can learn something new.
Yeah. And then Dewey's going to give us another update on Print Friendly, which is one of my favorite. I use that all day long. And then Hewie is going to talk on Poster My Wall. Now, Hewie uses Poster My Wall all the time, and it was a great video. Remember when the one you did on that, Hewie?
And not only that, using the transparent PNGs, you can bring them into Poster My Wall and use them all day long, and it really makes for good posters and flyers.
So that will be 32A is the number, and't be showing everyone just to remind you at the beginning of the Q&A just how to get there. But please watch that today. That'll be on at 1:30. Thank you for coming, those of you over on YouTube. I'm going to end that. I'm going to end our a live stream over there. We'll see you next week. And Ray, I guess we're ready to roll with your segment.
All right. Share my screen. All right, everybody can see that? A music sound no one ever heard before. Well, what can this be about? So anyway, most of you who were around in the early 1950s will recognize the names of Les Paul and Mary Ford. They were a very popular husband and wife duo who both sang and played guitars. Now, between 1950 and 1957, they had many chart hits, including Vaya con Dios and How High the Moon. Both of those songs went to #1 for several weeks. Now, Les Paul was born Lester William Polfus back in 1915, and Mary Ford born as Colleen Summers. They were introduced to each other by famed movie and TV cowboy star Gene Autry. He was known as the Singing Cowboy. Paul began on the radio with the Les Paul Show, which transitioned to television with the Les Paul and Mary Ford Show. These were all music-related programs where the couple showcased their new and unique recording methods. Now, this new technology had its beginning in a Hollywood, California garage, where Paul invented the technique of using multi-track recording equipment. According to Wikipedia, quote, Paul is credited with many recording innovations. His early experiments with overdubbing, delay effects such as tape delay, phasing, and multi-track recording were among the first to attract widespread attention. His licks, trills, chording sequences, fretting techniques, and timing set him apart from his contemporaries and inspired many guitarists of the present day, unquote. Sound on Sound was the nickname given to this new Les Paul creation. Additionally, Paul designed his version of an electric guitar in 1941, but the Gibson Guitar Company was slow to bring this to market. And in the meantime, Leo Fender began mass producing and selling the Fender Broadcaster. Now, this is a really interesting statistics. Les Paul is the only person to be included in both the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the National Inventors Hall of Fame. So let me bring this over here. Do one. Technology and music together at the very beginning.
Well done. That was great. Thanks, Ray. That was wonderful. It is now pretty much the top of the hour. I'm going to just share my screen for a minute. And I wanted to, before we say goodbye to everybody, I just want to share my screen, and we'll come over here and I'm going to share it. Now, this is, of course, is our webpage, www.techforsenior.com. And right at the top here, you'll say it says live screen, and click here. If you click there, this is going to take you right over to our Tech for Senior channel. And if you come over and you click on the video section here, you will then see 32A, which is the premiere service that we're going to be starting at 1:30. So you just click on this this button here, and that will bring up the show. Now, the premiere service means that it's not actually there yet. In other words, what premiere means is this is a YouTube terminology, and it means that we pre-record the show, but we don't put it on YouTube quite yet. It'll come on as a show at 10:30. And once it's there, it's recorded and you can go back and watch it. So if you're busy through the day and 10:30, you can't watch it, or 1:30, you can't watch it, and you want to go back and watch it later, it's fine. It's just a regular video. And then we call it 32A because in the Tech for Senior library, 32 was the original show that this came from. So this is the abridged section at 32A, and that's what you're going to be seeing today. And again, we hope that you use this for your computer clubs, use it for educational purposes. We just don't want all the work we put there sitting on the big cloud in the sky, not doing anything. So that is how you find it. Just go there and enjoy. So we're going to open it up now. So thank you everyone for coming. First of all, thank you everyone for coming. We'll see if you have to run off now, that's fine. We'll see everybody in another week. But remember, this Thursday, there will be no Tech for Senior Live. So don't show up for that. Be sure and watch your newsletter that's coming out tomorrow. And have a great week for everybody. We're going to open it up for question and answer now. We have, the little reactions button at the bottom. If you click that and you can raise your hand, that would be great. If you raise your hand, then we can see and we'll get you online here and get everyone organized. If you can't, yell, scream, or whatever you want to do to get some attention, and we'll try and get your questions answered. And you can have questions or comments or whatever. There was a lot of material today in the show. So if you want to ask us anything, it doesn't matter. And we even have Chris and Jim Gould here. You can even throw in a Google Photos question if you want. I'm sure Chris would be happy to answer that. So Steve, go ahead.
Question for Hewie. How does the transparent PNG handle anti-aliasing? Like, are they the pixels
the
that
website
are aliased? Are they going to be transparent, partially transparent, or is it just oblique or transparent?
When you go to the website, you will see what parts of it are transparent. You'll see the little blocks, and you'll be able to tell. It's usually the background to whatever you're looking at. I think there was 11,500 plus graphics, and they all seem to have some transparency in them.
Yeah, but can one pixel be partially transparent?
I don't believe so. I to be honest with you, that's a little bit more technical than I get into with these things. I do know that PNGs are a lot better than GIFs or GIFs, however you wish to pronounce it, because you get more colors. The GIFs were only limited to 256 colors, where you got thousands of colors in a PNG. And so it allowed it to be a much clearer picture as it got larger.
Okay. Have you ever tried Targa files?
No.
TGA? Okay, good. That's what I used to use when I was doing a lot of game programming. The cells, in order to make them transparent, you got a much better fusion with the transparency.
Because I'm using mostly tools that are geared towards the web, I use the most popular of the web formats.
Okay, I'll have to check it out and see what bring it up in Photoshop or something and test it out.
Thanks, Steve. Olive, go ahead.
Yes, I've been an EV enthusiast since the 1970s, and I had to smile at Dewey's presentation because a lot of those things have backstories behind them that, you know, if you know the backstory, the headlines are kind of wishy-washy. Just thought I'd throw that in there.
Indeed, indeed. But Olive, did you know they made batteries in the 1800s?
Yes, in fact, I know a fellow in Portland, John Whalen, who actually rebuilt a Baker, and it was quite a process to try to recreate the old batteries.
Amazing, eh? Just amazing. And Bill James, what do you want to? Do you want to have a comment or do you have a question?
I have a question for Hewie about the SVC files.
Yeah.
When you convert, is it possible to convert a JPEG to SVC without losing any of the quality? Or do you have to have?
There are some ways to convert. Best thing to do is I'm losing my voice today. Is do a Google search on SVG to JPEG or vice versa if you want to do it that way. There are ways to do it. The best way to do it, of course, is to have a program that can do it. But you're getting into something like Adobe. What's the name of their program? It's
Photoshop.
No, not Photoshop. It's above Photoshop, and it's about a $350, $400 program.
Oh,
Illustrator.
Illustrator, that's it. And I think that Corel Draw may do some SVG as well. So it's going to be a high-end program to create them, but there are some utilities out there now that will convert. It may not be perfect, but it will be a lot better than it was. But if you have an SVG file, you can make it as large or as small as you want, and it does not lose any quality because the whole thing is done with mathematics and numbers, and it's a text file.
I wish I'd have known that before. Thank you.
All right, and JJ, go ahead.
What they were talking about, most of the files, like the ones Hewie was talking about, are called vector graphics, and you can scale them up and down with no pixelization. And that's what Illustrator does. I worked with Illustrator for about 20 years when I was creating graphics for the base, for the naval base. But that's the thing about vector graphics here. Again, you can scale them and there's no pixelization.
Yeah, and there are some websites where you can download free SVG files as well, especially some of the bigger companies' logos are available as SVGs. So if you want to use them for something, you can.
That's how I get the logos from Avast, SVGs.
All right, thanks, JJ. That's great, great. Wow, you're a famous guy. You did it for 20 years. You must know Illustrator really well.
You're muted.
You're muted, JJ.
I'm sorry.
I said you must have. You were muted again. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, you must have known Illustrator really well. 20 years.
Well, yeah, I worked on the base as a graphic designer, developing computer-based lessons on the naval base here in Great Lakes for about 30-something years, and worked with Illustrator, creating illustrated graphics and vector graphics. So here, like I said, it's been my favorite thing to create SVG or, as I said, Illustrator files.
Oh, that's great news. So now we have an expert in our group. This is great. You are now our expert file manager. This is going to be great. I didn't know that about you. That's really interesting. Yeah, super. Thanks a lot. And Ray, our music expert.
Yeah, I just wanted to say my understanding on the Facebook name change to Meta, that's going to be the new parent company. Facebook name will still be around. This is similar to what Google did by creating Alphabet as the parent company.
Oh, okay. Yep. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was thinking, I don't want to call it Meta anymore. What's Meta?
It's going to be the metaverse.
The metaverse. Right. All right. Well, I hope people, Facebook groups, good choice. I also think it's also a good choice for a lot of small computer groups that want to have websites and want to do memberships and stuff like that. I teach that in some of the courses for clubs, and it's a good option because the software is all there for you. It's also a good option to share with your family. Mary, go ahead.
I put a link, or didn't put a link, but I put a comment in the chat session, but no one's seen it yet, it appears, or hasn't commented on it. But Inkscape is a free version of an SVG editor. I use it very frequently.
What's it called again, Mary? Is it Inkscape?
Inkscape. INKSCAPE.
And you can use it to convert?
I believe so. I've done creation in it and created a number of things for logos and so forth. I've also taken other images and ported it into it to smooth them out and create an SVG from it, from the original. And I don't know whether I have done a conversion directly, saying, take this and convert it to an SVG. I ported it in and done whatever I needed to it, and then saved it as an SVG. But it's a very good program and it's free.
Super. JG, did you know about that program?
No, I did not.
Okay. Thank you, Mary. That's great. That's great news.
I just put the link to it in the chat box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you. There's some really good videos out there too.
Yeah, probably if you want to learn how to use it, there'd probably be some YouTube videos about that, eh? Great.
I'll take a look on YouTube and maybe put a link into at least one.
Great. Super. Thanks a lot. That's helpful. Any other questions? Any other questions, comments? Bob, you've got your hand up. What do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about?
You mentioned in your section that uploading to YouTube is something that's probably too difficult for many people. My favorite program, Screencast-O-Matic, allows you to import a video and then select upload to YouTube. So as long as you just simply have, and if you're using Google, you already have a YouTube account. So, and it's a free program that allows you to import a video and then upload it. So once you've created it, if you want to get it up to YouTube, makes it very, very simple.
It does. It is, but it does require you to, now as I go back and I remember many years ago when I created my YouTube channel, there is a setup procedure. It's not automatic. In other words, everyone doesn't automatically have a YouTube channel. You have to actually set it up. So there are a few steps that you have to go through. You and I probably have forgot about that because we've had our channels for a very long time. But there is a setup procedure. Then there is a Screencast-O-Matic process. Then there is the upload. Once it's all done, it's very simple and it's very fast. But all as I was trying to point out that is in the skill testing, as in the skill set, probably compared to the other two, it is probably the most, it might scare people off. You may not be able to do it. But for sure, as Bob points out, we all have Google accounts, right? If you have an Android phone, you use Gmail, everyone's got a Google account. And that does that does allow you to have a free YouTube channel, and then you can upload all your videos, if that's. But I guess what I was trying to say in the video is I think this is so important to do as we're seniors, because don't wait. If you wait for another you may maybe be too late. The other thing is the power of video. While a lot of you are scanning old pictures, you're uploading stuff and you're putting images into your I guess Google Photos. Behind every picture is a story, right? It's a story. There's lots of things about that picture that that you can talk about. And if you're going over to Uncle Harry's and you're talking and you have your photo album with you, and Uncle Harry is standing there with the fish, the big fish you caught at the lake, take out your phone and do a selfie with them and get them to talk about the experience that you had. And it doesn't have to be perfect, and it doesn't even have to be edited. And if you have Google Photos, it's going to just automatically upload that video anyway. And then you've got your video. You've got Uncle Harry talking about the great fishing experience you have, which maybe Uncle Harry won't be with us next week. You've got it captured. And what was so powerful about those videos that I found, there were pictures of my mom and Gail's mom and all these people that died many years ago, and I've got them talking on video. It's crazy. I mean, I just never knew that those existed because I forgot about them. So I think it's important that we get on with it. You want to make sure that, and the other fun thing about it is, since I sent those videos out to all my friends, the fun you're going to have with it is not after you're dead. The fun that you're going to have with it is now, because you can actually talk to people about it. Go ahead, Mary. Did you have another question or comment, Mary?
No, I did just put in a link to a video. It's one of the earlier videos,
right?
A beginner video, and he has this particular whatever you call him, videographer or whatever, has videos from basic to expert. So he's really good.
So thanks so much. Okay, thanks so much. Marcia, go ahead.
Hi, I just wanted to say two different things. One is they say a picture's worth 1,000 words, but if you don't put any words to it,
right,
they're that person's words. So you need to explain a little bit about, as you said, your pictures and your videos, so that they get the story behind it. My mother just passed away, and and she had dementia for 10 years. So I don't know the backstories on many of the pictures, and I wish I did.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing was that within PowerPoint, if you create something using their shapes, or if you insert any of the vector graphics from the stock images or any of the other places, you can right click on them and save as an SVG.
Ah, okay. I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, thanks for reminding us that. That's a good one. Yeah, excellent. Yes, thanks. Dewey.
Yes, Kyle Kalenda requested the Samsung customer service number, and I just posted it in chat.
All right.
Have at it, Kyle.
Thanks a lot. And Ray.
Yeah, with respect to the Premiere, and what I'm going to be talking about, Sway, that's a free Microsoft program that's most anybody can access, and that gives you the opportunity to bring up a picture and then to narrate about it, talk
That's
about
right.
what it involves.
Yeah.
So I think Sway is a perfect program to do and follow up what you mentioned, Ron.
And I forgot to mention that, because you're absolutely right. When I was doing the video and making it up, I thought, hey, this is perfect. It matches. It's exactly right. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, excellent. So watch that today in another 10 minutes. Marcia, did you want some more? Did you have another question?
Yes, I want to say, Ray reminded me that you can insert your videos within PowerPoint. So you can add pictures on different slides and videos and narrate them as well, and then export it as a video to YouTube.
Yep, that's a good idea. Yeah, yep. We should do a video on that. Remind me, Hewie. That's a great idea. I could do a video on that. That's a really good idea. Yes, that'll be a segment coming up. That's an excellent idea. Good good.
And you have to learn how to use PowerPoint.
Yeah, it's pretty easy though. It's not that difficult, you know, and that's a great idea. I had forgot. Yeah, that'd be great.
I have videos in my music presentation.
Every one of my presentations has embedded videos.
Yeah.
Because I don't always know whether a club has internet access.
Right.
If you don't know, you better be prepared and assume they don't.
That's for sure.
And there are quite a few people on in our audience that do presentations for their local user group that may not know how to do that. So that will make a good to
make a good one. That's
video.
that'd be a good one. All right, it's 20 minutes after. I want to thank everyone for coming. Thank you for being here. Remember, Tech for Senior Live, not this Thursday. We'll follow, it'll be on next Thursday. We'll see everyone for our meeting next Monday. And you have a great week and enjoy yourself. And those of you who are heading south to Mesa and parts south, enjoy the warm weather. And we'll see everybody in another week. And don't forget, go ahead.
Think about those of us that are where it's cold.
That's freezing. Right.
If you're coming to Florida, turn around. We're getting crowded.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.